All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 538 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to talk about the front office. They're not getting Lamar Jackson. The Falcons are moving on. I don't even think they ever was in the sweepstakes for it. But we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about trusting the front office because you got to understand these guys don't put out much information. When they do put out information, it's very little, and then the information has already been verified before they even put it out. So they keep all of their rumors close to the chest, and I think that's a really good thing. And we also have to understand that with all the examples that we have from the Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones situation, even with the Deion Jones situation, they don't really say much. So when we heard all these rumblings about Lamar Jackson, it made sense from a position standpoint, but from the money situation, it didn't. And I just talked about that in the short, why this really didn't go through. But we'll talk about that in more in this episode. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So if you don't want to subscribe on the YouTube and Rumble, you could be your own program manager and look over there to the podcast avenues and listen to at your leisure. Now, personally, if you want my opinion, I would rather for you to just subscribe to one or both. And so I really want you to subscribe to both because one area may be down, like YouTube and Rumble may not be up, but Anchor or Apple may be up. It's weird how it goes sometimes. So hopefully you guys will, check that out and give out the support, man. I really appreciate the support. I really, really do. So, nevertheless, let's get into this. Lamar Jackson's not coming to the Falcons. I mean, I kind of, suspected this because of one reason only, money. You don't want to spend that much money on one player. I think it's been, noted that the Falcons front office don't want to do that. One of the reasons why we got from under Julio Jones, one reason why we got under from Matt Ryan, and I guess the Deion Jones situation, I'm not really sure. I think that was more of health. But nevertheless, we wanted to get out of cap situation, real bad cap situations. And it seems like that's what we've done for the most part. We've gotten to the point where we don't have to worry about dead cap money or crazy, money that's being allocated to different things. And we can actually spend some money on players. And I understand that kind of sounds like an oxymoron when I just said about Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's situation is just the price was just too heavy. And if we did match it, we'd have to give up 2 first round picks. Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't think it's personally I think it's worth it when it comes to the 2 first round picks. I mean, I said that, that's a no brainer. If you can get Lamar Jackson for 2 first round picks, I get it. But if you're trying to be fiscally responsible as well, that's where the problem lies. Because you can the 2 first round picks, okay, I get it. But the money that comes behind it. I mean, if you're paying Lamar Jackson $17 million a year to come into play, get the 2 first rounders and get $17 million. But Lamar Jackson wants somewhere up to $50 million a year. I mean, and I'm pretty sure he wants it guaranteed. There's been reports that he wants it guaranteed, some reports that he don't. I would guess that he would want something under the Deshaun Watson realm. And Deshaun Watson, for all intents and purposes, his field of play, that's debatable if it's warranted to get all that guaranteed money. But when you flip side all the off the field stuff, that may not even be the case. So there may be something that you just don't want to deal with. So at the end of the day, is it something that you want to do? I don't think the Falcons is something that's what they wanted to do. So therefore, they're going to move on. Desmond Ridder, for all intents and purposes, is their guy. If you heard what Coach said about Desmond Ridder in the past, he thinks he has a bright future. They like what they saw in the 4 games. Arthur Blank even likes him. And I'm pretty sure Terry Fontenot's on board because they all make a collective agreement, especially like the GM on down. They make a collective agreement who they want to draft and when and where. To be honest, I'm actually surprised Desmond Ridder fell to the Falcons in the 3rd round because between him and Malik Willis, there were rumblings that they would have been picked around the same time Kenny Pickett was in the first round. So it was really, surprising. But nevertheless, I think they got a really good guy with Desmond Ritter, and you can build around this kid. Based on the 4 games I've seen, I think he has enough to actually get a chance to be QB1. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to draft a quarterback. I think we are. But it's probably going to be somewhere down the line, maybe third, fourth round, depends on who's available. And we're going to get a veteran. We're going to bring a veteran in. And I think that's where we're going to be sitting at when it comes to actual just the quarterback depth. But I think Desmond Ritter's going to be QB1. I will be really surprised if these guys pick a quarterback in the top, 2 rounds, let alone the first rounds. Because you're talking about guys like Levis and Richardson and Stroud and Young. Those guys could be going by pick number 8. With that being said, is it really viable for the Falcons to do that? I mean, if you do that, then you're probably going to be still in the same realm of, using a rookie quarterback to rebuild. I mean, I just don't get it. And if you're going to draft somebody that high, that's basically pushing Desmond Ritter to the side. I mean, I don't see Desmond Ritter being QB1 unless if he severely outplays that person. So I just don't think it makes sense for the Falcons to do that right now. But it did send a message that the fact that Lamar Jackson is not, being pursued by the Falcons, it sent the message that they are going with a young quarterback in some capacity. And the way that Desmond Ritter played, and this is the guy they picked first, and Desmond Ritter didn't do anything to show any doubt, in my opinion, is, I think he still has the fighting chance to be that guy. Like I said, they're probably going to draft somebody late, pick up a veteran, and that's how it's going to be, in my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. Nevertheless, when you look at everything, if you look at everything else in the scheme of things when it comes to the Falcons, they re-signed Lorenzo Carter. That's a really good pickup. Once again, that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, you got guys that are here that was on 1-year deals, on a bunch of prove-it deals. Can they make something happen? And a lot of guys still have a lot of, stuff on their resume that shows that they can make things happen to get an extension. Lorenzo Carter got one. I think, Rashaan Evans definitely should get one. I mean, I think I made an episode about that he needs to get paid. I mean, he needs to be, him and Troy Anderson needs to be together on that linebacker, line. Now, there's other names out there that are out there from other teams that I would like to see on the team for the Falcons, and I think they will help tremendously. Like, let's say, for instance, if you did upgrade to get a Khalil Mack or something like that. I mean, you get Mack, Anderson, and Rashaan Evans together. I mean, you're talking about a really nasty-looking front seven, and you turn around and you draft somebody like a Nolan Smith or, Will Anderson's already a linebacker, so I don't even know if you get Khalil Mack, do you turn around and get Will Anderson? If you get Khalil Mack and Will Anderson, what does that do for Rashaan Evans? I mean, it's a lot going on right there. You know what I'm saying? Cornerbacks. Do we need a cornerback? I think we need a cornerback, even though Casey Hayward is coming back. You can't have enough cornerbacks. So, a lot of this stuff is predicated on what the front office is trying to do. They want to get guys that are on that were on prove-it deals and see if they can evolve to get a long-term contract, or are they going to still try to bring some more guys in who are already proven that can, make things happen with their with a long-term contract for them. Because like I said, you got a lot of guys on defense that are getting, they're being released because of they're cap casualties. And the Falcons got money. And I don't see Khalil Mack possibly going back to the Bears. I don't see that. It sounds good. I just don't see it. But I think playing in a system like the Falcons got with a new defensive coordinator, I think that bodes very well for a guy like that. I mean, we could have a really disruptive front seven. But the thing is, you just got to trust what this front office is doing. You look at what Dean P set on the table for the Falcons, where he wants everybody rushing the passer. And you got a guy that's from the New Orleans Saints who the defense was actually pretty good for the most part, especially rushing the passer. You had a lot of guys who are finding ways to get to the quarterback, and you get some guys that we already have now, like Grady Jarrett, Ebikete, You got D'Angelo Malone, Troy Anderson. You got some guys that are on that front seven. You add a few more pieces, and you got something nasty going on right there. You got something really nasty. So, um, I know everybody wants to talk about the quarterback situation. You know, Lamar Jackson. I think right now we only got one quarterback on the roster. You got all this stuff going on with that, but then you turn back around and like the quarterback we have could be our quarterback number one. I mean, he's not that bad. Nobody has much negative to say about Desmond Ritter. It's more about preference, and people have their personal preference when it comes to what's on this team. Now, I don't have a personal preference. I just look at production and I look at the progression from what Desmond Ritter did in these 4 games. I think he can produce to be a high level quarterback in this league. You know, repetition makes you better. You know, actually getting the reps, learning more, seeing more defenses, playing more in real time it makes you better. And that's what we saw in that little small sample size of 4 games. You saw Desmond Ritter get better as it goes. So, from a logical standpoint, I would like to have him be QB1 because he's progressed and he's on a rookie deal. I mean, I understand the Lamar Jackson situation. Oh, you can get all these good players in rounds 3, 4, 5. Yeah, yes, you can. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what happens when you can't pay, the top talent who can make a difference? What happens then? You got a lot of guys who are, playing on these small deals who are probably, you know, people that you can just afford, not people who can actually make the team better. But you have this quarterback who's eating up, in some cases, 50 to 55% of your cap. I mean, is that something that you want? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, even with the Ravens doing what they did, I mean, look how far the Ravens got. The Ravens had a chance to do some things, but they weren't really deep in the playoffs since Flacco was there. You know what I mean? So I feel that it's doable if Lamar Jackson was it, but because anything's possible. You could assemble a team together and go on a run. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that's not possible. But when you're looking at the whole scheme of things, you get a kid on a rookie deal and build pieces around him. And let's say, for instance, you go deep in the playoffs with him and then he end up costing a lot of money. You want to keep him, that's cool. Maybe you get a hometown discount. I'm not going to say discount, but you may get a hometown finesse where both sides finesse the contract for him to be possibly get a bunch of guaranteed money signing bonus, but the contract itself is backloaded, so he doesn't get to see the big money contractually for the next 4 to 5 years down the road. So like the first 3, he's probably getting paid $11 million against the salary cap. He's probably getting $80 million guaranteed off the signing bonus. So he's already getting paid in 1 year 90 something million straight up, and everything else is just backloaded from the end, and you just restructure, or maybe you don't extend them. Everybody's happy. I mean, there's so many ways to do this, but the main thing is I want a team that's collectively good. I don't want nothing top heavy. I don't care if it's a receiver. I don't care if it's a running back. I don't care if it's quarterback. I don't want 1 or 2 people killing this team salary cap wise. I mean, we just got out of that with Matt Ryan, and I don't think that Terry Fontenot was going to go down that path again. So therefore, this is the way that they're going to go, and I'm going to trust them. I mean, I think that's just the best way to do it, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy or whatever the case may be? You're kind of upset because Lamar Jackson's not a Falcon. Do you trust what the front office is doing? Let me know. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. Share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll just continue to keep it moving. I am on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Thank you guys for the support. I am going to get up out of here. You also can find me on Twitter at VFBaller, where I talk about things that don't make it to the show. And you guys could, chime in on some things that I post. Other than that, I am out of here. I'll see you on the next episode. You guys take it easy and you guys be blessed. Peace.